Hi dear students, how are you? Can you recognize me? I am A.S. Biplop, senior English teacher, Aminabaki Residential Model School and College. In my previous class, I taught you about the rules of assist narration, English second paper for class 9 and 10. In the same time, I gave you an exercise and I promised to solve it in my next class. Now, just keep your eyes on the monitor for some time. Here you can see some rules, and in my next slide you can see some exercise that was given to you in the previous class. Exercise workout. Rule 1. Say it. In present tense, say. Example. He said, we are facing a human crisis. Solution. He said that they were facing a human crisis. If said and there is no object after the reporting verb, so said or say will not be changed. Example you can see in this example. He said that. Rule 2. If the speech of a speaker delivered in some sentences one after another, the sequence will be maintained. Thus, in assertive sentence, say it, then add it, or also add it, further add it, again say it, then like this. If the sentences are interrogative, the sequence will be maintained. Thus, asked, also asked, further asked, again asked, then like this. Example, in a conference the scientist said, the world moves around the sun, it's round like an orange. Do you know how much time does she need to move around her axis? How many days does she need to travel her orbit? Said he to the audience. Here you can see the speech or sentences, the world moves around the sun and then it's round like an orange. The assertive sentence, there are two assertive sentences here, and do you know how much time does she need to move around her axis? How many days does she need to travel her orbit? Here, after assertive sentence, you can see two interrogative sentences, and the solution will be like this. And here, the sequence of reporting verb is maintained here in this exercise. Solution. In a conference, the scientist said, you can also use informed that the world moves around the sun. He added, or also added, you can use that it's round like an orange. He added. Said, then he added. He asked the audience if, you can also use whether. They knew how much time she needs to move round her axis. He also asked them how many days she needs to travel her orbit. Here you can see if the sentences are interrogative, here two sentences are interrogative, and for the interrogative sentence he asked and then he also asked. Here the sequence is maintained. In my next rule, rule number 3, replied in the affirmative, replied in the negative. It's very easy for you. Example, the teacher said to the students, dear students, have you learned about e-learning? No, sir. Please explain it. Aren't of e-learning? Aren't you taking online classes? Yes, said the students. This is the part of e-learning, said the teacher. Here the solution is, according the addressing word, dear students, addressing them as dear, the teacher asked the students if they had learnt about e-learning. The students respectfully replied, for sir, the greeting word sir, we have to use respectfully. Also, we can use the phrase addressing him as sir. The students replied. Also, we can express like this: the students addressed him as sir, and he replied in the negative. So, there are 3 phrases you can use, one or another, and request it for imperative sentence. Please explain it. The students say here. So, for please, the word request is used here, requested for past tense, him to explain it. He asked them if whether they were not taking online classes. The students replied in the affirmative. For yes, the students replied in the affirmative. The teacher explained, or you can use said, or you can use told them that that was a part of e-learning. Here you can see, for this, in this exercise, this, that is used here. This will be changed into the word that. It is connected that, and for this that, this word that is used here as pronoun. But here I can mention you that the first word that is used here as a connector, and the second that is used here for the pronoun this. Next, rule 4, why, for why. Here the exercise why. If there is why, you have to use the phrase asked me, him, her, the reason. Also, instead of him, her, there may be the word, can be the word, them, us, etc. Example, have you done your homework? Said the mother to her daughter. No, why? Why? Said the mother, why? Tell me, or the mother says, tell me why you have not done it, said her mother. Solution, I can make you remember the rules. If why is used only interrogative pronoun, and there is no words or phrase after why, the why will be changed into asked, me, him, her, the reason. If the why is used in the middle of a sentence like this, this kind of why will be will not be changed. Solution: the mother asked her daughter if she had done her homework. Her daughter replied in the negative. Her mother asked her the reason. Here, for why, for the word why, I have written, you have to write, her mother asked her the reason. Or if there is why in the middle of a sentence as a connector or interrogative pronoun or relative pronoun, tell me why you have not done it, said her mother. If it is used in the middle, you have to write. So you have to write, her mother ordered or told her to tell her. That means same mother, why she had not done it. I can make you clear the rule that if why is used only as a interrogative pronoun, you have to write asked the reason. If there is why in the middle of a sentence as a connector, you have to write the why interrogative pronoun will not be changed into the phrase asked, me, him, her, the reason. Like this, in the middle, it is used in the middle. So you have to write, tell her why. The why is not changed into the phrase, but for this why you have to change asked her the reason. Next slide. Rule 5 for sorry. Dear students, you can see sorry. For sorry, only sorry, you have to write expressed my, his or her regret or sorrow. Exercise. I said, how is your mother, my friend? She is no more on the earth. Said my friend, sorry. For sorry, here the word sorry, I said, and here I am sorry for you. Here sorry in the middle of a sentence as a predicate, but here the sorry is used as a sentence using only one word. The solution for my friend, addressing him as friend, I asked my friend how his mother was. He replied that she was no more on the earth. I expressed my regret or sorrow. Here for sorry, in the example for sorry, you have to write expressed my regret or sorrow, and for this sorry in the middle of a sentence as an adjective, you have to write I told him that I was sorry for him. That means if the sorry as a sentence, just a word used for a sentence, the phrase expressed regret or sorrow will be used. If the sorry as an adjective in the middle of sentence, the sorry will not be changed like this, I was sorry for him. Next. In the next slide, you can see the word well. For well, you have to write expressed my, his or her satisfaction, or you can also write was satisfied at my his her reply or answer or at the matter. Example, in this example you can see the doctor said, are you following the rules of hygiene? Yes, doctor, said the patient. Well, said the doctor. Solution, the doctor asked the patient if he was following the rules of hygiene. Addressing him as doctor, the patient replied in the affirmative. The doctor expressed his satisfaction. For well, the phrase you have to write, expressed his satisfaction, or you can use like this, the doctor was satisfied at his reply. For well, you can write expressed satisfaction, also was satisfied at his reply or at the matter. Next, rule 7, alas, exclamatory word. You can see on the monitor exclamatory word if there are in your exercise, alas, hurrah, wow, bravo. Basically it follows the rule of transformation from exclamatory sentence to assertive one. Example, I said to the players, what's the news? Alas, we are undone. They said, it's my bad luck, said I. Solution, here you can see, I asked the players what the news was. They exclaimed with sorrow or regret, exclaimed with sorrow, regret here for alas in this exercise. In this exercise, alas, you have to write exclaimed with sorrow or regret and said that they were undone. I told them that it was my bad luck. Here, I can remember you that in the rule of transformation, just for this kind of sentence, for the news, you have to write alas, for alas, you have to write exclaimed with sorrow that, but in narration, you have to write exclaimed with sorrow and said that, for narration, and said that, you have to write. Next, accordingly you can see here hurrah, for hurrah you have to write, you can write joy, exclaimed with joy. For wow, you can write exclaimed with wonder. For bravo, you can write exclaimed with pleasure or brave, like this. Next slide, rule number 8 for but, very important, and it was a puzzle for you to find the rule for but. If but is used at the beginning of a sentence, so in this case you have to write for but expressed my, his or her or their or our doubt. You can also write the sentence or phrase he was athwa I was doubtful as an adjective you can write, but it is better in this way if you write expressed my, his, her doubt. Example, how is the condition of general people? In a cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh said to her ministers, they are poor but happy. Her ministers said, but can they afford to educate their children properly? She said. Now the solution. Now the solution, you can see, in a cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh asked her ministers how the condition of general people was. Her ministers replied that they are poor here, poor. Some words are missing here, but you should guess the word poor but happy. But in the middle of a sentence, but here, but is used in the middle of a sentence, and you can see here, but at the beginning of a sentence. She expressed her doubt for but. If it is used before the sentence or the sentence begins with but, this kind of but, for this kind of but, you have to write she expressed her doubt, or she was doubtful at their idea, and said that. You have to write for but if it is used before the sentence or at the beginning of sentence. She expressed her doubt and asked them, that means ministers, if they, general people, could afford to educate their children properly. Now look at this. Here but is in the middle of a sentence. Here but is at the beginning of a sentence. If but is used in the middle of a sentence, it will not be changed like this. They are poor but happy. And for this but, she expressed her doubt and asked. For interrogative sentence, you have to write and asked, and for assertive sentence, you have to write and said that if they could afford to educate their children. So I think my teaching is clear to you. It is my attempts to assist your self-study, just self-study. So thank you. You can contact with me with this number. Also you can comment. You can write comments in my mailbox through this address. Study yourself, follow the rules of hygiene, stay safe and sound. See you. Thank you. Bye.